Goff out of the gun, hands it to Jahmyr Gibbs. There you go. 30, go. 35 to the 40.
There you
First
go.
a quarter to 50. It's a foot race down the left sideline. Gibbs, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Jared takes, tosses to Montgomery, run right. He's going to throw it to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Sam Laporta takes it at the 10. Makes the first man miss. Second man miss. Gets to the 20, 25-yard line. There's the 30. 35 cuts left at the 40. There goes Leaf, left sideline. To the 40. To the 30. He's gone, baby. He's gone. 10-5. End zone. Touchdown, Kalif Raymond. What a thing of beauty.
And this day was something else. You just got a dose of the big plays there, and there were more, believe me, as the Lions win it 52-14 over Tennessee. Dan Miller, Birchie in the house as well. If I told you that the Lions put up 225 total yards, that Jared Goff threw for 85 yards, you tell me what?
They would lose 52-14. The last time we did this show was the reverse. They had doubled up the Bucs in yards, and we sat here and said, how did they lose this game?
Right.
Well, how did they win this game by 38? Well, 4 takeaways on defense was the big difference. And Kalif Raymond, as a return man, chewing up 240 yards between punts and kicks. It doesn't seem like a game the Lions dominated because they really didn't. And yet every time they got the ball in Titans territory, they punched it in because that's just what this offense does.
As a team, they had more yards and returns than they did as an offense.
Of course.
Which is just crazy. And it was one of those days where you saw early on what might be the difference. Let's get to some of the takeaways because you had some early takeaways in this game that the Lions turned into touchdowns. You had an interception by Trevor Nowaski, an interception by Kirby Joseph. They utilized those to start drives and turn those into points.
Yeah, as we all expected, 8 weeks into the season, Trevor Nowaski has more interceptions than Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, and Terrion Arnold combined. And that was one of the few cases today on his interception where the Lions did get pressure. Levi got pressure on Mason Rudolph, forced him into that throw, and Nowaski was where he needed to be to convert that. But Kirby Joseph, as he told me this week, I said, you know, Brian Branch caught up to you in the interception department, and he said, man, I'm inevitable. I'm inevitable. And once again today, he was. He just has such a nose for the football. He knows how to read the quarterback's eyes, how to read the field. He's just Johnny on the spot, it seems now, every week. And that was the difference today, those 4 takeaways.
And Amik Robertson, a couple of punch-outs in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, first guy gets in there, finds the ball carrier. He came in and found the ball after that, and the Lions came up with both those.
Yeah, and those cornerbacks still don't have a pick, and so the push-up bet, I guess, is pushed to next week. But Amik Robertson plays with the feistiness that Aaron Glenn once played with, and he told me this week, you know, we both have short man syndrome, and so we play with that aggressiveness and that chip on our shoulder, and he had it again today. But again, the Titans had 413 yards of offense. The Lions had 225. They scored 52 points because this team right now, as a group, feels inevitable.
All phases of the game clicking for the Lions today.
Yeah.
Special teams, offense, defense, complementary football. Dan Campbell talks about it all the time. And he talked after this win today at Ford Field, his comments moments ago.
That team came out and played hard. I really felt that, and we figured they would. You know, it's not like we didn't. So, you know, credit to them. And I know it doesn't look that way, but we did come out to fight, and that's what we expected. You know, I felt that we were going to be ready. We were going to be ready, and it's like I told them, that's what champions do. And you come out, you don't care what time of day it is, what the records are, what the surface is. You come out and handle your business, and we did that. Now, we did not play our cleanest ball. We really didn't. However, when you have 4 takeaways on defense, you're 5 of 5 in the red zone, and you have the returns that our special teams unit had, punt return and kick return, then you can get a lot of production and things sway your way. So, but it's a hell of a team win, you know. And once again, this team knows how to complement itself, and all 3 units are humming. We're pretty dang good.
Is that the definition of complementary?
Yes, absolutely it is. Absolutely.
6-1 record, first time since 1956. I mean, y'all erased a lot of those narratives last year, the winner culture. But how does it feel to continue to do that? You know, to continue to do things that the franchise haven't started.
Yeah, I mean, I think we, you know, It's really just about the one that's in front of us. I don't feel like it's something we're going for the next record. We're just playing ball. We're trying to play as clean as we can. We're trying to be as productive as we can. The players, they're urgent about it, man. They're accountable to it, and they want more. And they know when it's good and when it's not, so that's a credit to them, and we still have room to improve, which is great. We've improved a ton, but man, we're those guys are taking the game plan and they're executing it, and it's on to the next one.
You mentioned the 4 takeaways today. I think you had 5 a couple weeks ago, 10 in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Beyond just having playmakers on that side of the ball, what has sort of led to this frenzy of takeaways that you had?
Well, look, we emphasize it, and we have. It's not like we don't emphasize this, but it's sometimes it's a different way of doing it, and so every day, I mean, we do a takeaway circuit, and no different than we do ball security on offense. That's how we start once we're out of warm up, and man, you emphasize and you try to take it as serious as you can, and they need to be like game reps, and it's punch outs and it's strips, and because look, the interceptions will come, those things will come, and if the ball carrier's loose with it naturally, those will come. But man, the ones you got to work on are the punch outs, man. The intention to it, finding, locate, hit it, get it out, the grabbing the front of the ball, grabbing the hand, pulling, scraping, and we work on that. But I've said this before, man. That stuff's contagious. It's contagious. Every team I've ever been a part of, player or coach, man, they start coming in bunches. And once you start getting the taste of it, guys want to be a part of that, and they start watching the guy next to him a little more focused. They start doing it, and pretty soon it does. It becomes contagious. Just like you start turning the ball over a lot, and you get tight, and all of a sudden, man, it starts going the wrong way, and those come in bunches too. So we're in a good place. It's credit to AG and those coaches over there, and it's big. You get 4 takeaways, it can be hard for us to lose.
Not what you value special teams, just Kalif to have those big returns, and Doris to have a big one too that had to make you smile. Just kind of see that production from special teams.
It sure did. I told the team, Leaf got a game ball in there, obviously, and I told kind of just the story of Brad coming into my office in 2021, and early spring we were fresh on the job, and he said, "Hey, take a peek at this guy from Tennessee. He's really a returner, kind of gadget. You think there's a place for him on offense?" And watched about 10 plays, and I was like, yeah, absolutely there is. Take this guy in a heartbeat. So, and it's been a blessing ever since to get Leaf here. What a pro he is. Guys love him. Coaches, players, man, you talk about reliable, and he's consistent, and the way he prepares, the way he works, and he does everything for us, man. He can play all the positions on offense. He's a dynamic returner. That was good to see, man. It's been a while since we got some big ones. And he's just, man, he's the best. And so that was great, man. The team's fired up for him, and I thought those guys blocked their rears off, and the rest was up to him. He turned it on and found it.
We'll talk about Kalif coming up in just a moment, but you got to say this. He was huge today, and he was big last week in Minnesota on that critical drive in the third quarter as well.
Yeah, so Amon-Ra St. Brown and J-Mo obviously not playing today, combined for 2 catches for 7 yards, and again, they score 52 points. And Kalif Raymond is a gadget. He's a weapon. He is really fast. He's really quick, jitterbug type quickness. I mean, you saw what he did to Gilmore on that release last week against the Vikings. He's a great story, though. He says every day at practice, he makes a point to look beyond the practice field gates into the real world, because he thought that he was destined for that when he arrived here 4 years ago. Well, he has carved out a career and a really important spot on this team with Detroit, and they wouldn't be here without him.
Had a huge day today, first line in team history to return a punt for a touchdown and to catch a touchdown on offense as well. We'll talk more about Leaf, more about the Lions when we come back. This is our Lions postgame show. You'll also hear from Jared Goff. Another day for him, another victory. Wasn't huge numbers, but it didn't need to be. Lions win at 52-14. All right, so I'm looking for my numbers here. Jared Goff becomes the first player in NFL history with 2 or more touchdown passes, a passer rating of 110 plus, and a 72% completion rate in 5 consecutive games.
He just keeps
the numbers just keep going. And he didn't have a huge day today. Jared Goff on the day, 12 out of 15, 85 yards, 3 touchdowns.
The most precise pass today might have been thrown by David Montgomery, who threw an absolute precise spiral to Laporta for the touchdown. But Jared Goff just continues to play like he has really since week 3 in the first half against the Cardinals, when he got back to playing more Jared Goff football. And he took what the defense was giving him that day. And ever since then, he's just played sound, smart, sharp football, and it results in days like this. And the Lions didn't have to work that hard today on offense because they had so many great they had so much great field position to start drives, and Jared Goff just continued to convert. And you look at the box score, and everyone ate. And to me, the big one was Laporta today, who really broke out for the first time. 6 targets, 6 catches, a touchdown. They're going to need him more and more as the season continues and the defensive challenges get taller. It was good to see him find himself again today.
No doubt about it. Jared Goff, as we say, continues to set records. Lions win at 52-14. The quarterback spoke to the media a short time ago.
I don't know if I've ever been a part of something like that, where we start with the ball in not only in plus territory, but in the red zone. I don't know how many times, 4 or 5 probably. And we did our job and punched them in for touchdowns, and that's what we were asked to do today, and did that well. And with that being said, we scored 52, and there's still like some. And I know that sounds like kind of hollow after scoring 52, but there are some things that we can do better on offense when we weren't down in that red area.
It seemed like every time that they chipped away, you guys immediately responded. The big return, it gives a 70-yarder. I guess just how impressed were you with your guys' ability to jump right back on them?
Yeah, we respond well. We knew that they'd come out fighting. We really did. I mean, they're a solid team, and they've played a lot of these games well early on. But we knew if we just kept staying on them, they would wear down eventually, and we're able to do that. And I think the stuff with Kalif is pretty remarkable. And when we're starting with the ball down there, and then Dorsey has the long return as well, we get interceptions taken down there. It's like, our job is to go another 30 yards. That's okay. We'll do that and score.
You had a hard game where 6 different guys scored a touchdown for you guys?
I don't think so. Yeah, no, that's another stat. Yeah, I don't think so.
Just speak to just the versatility we talk about all the time, but when 6 different guys score touchdowns for you, that's some weapons that you got.
Yeah, we do. We really do. I mean, you go right down the list. Obviously, we know everything about St. Brown, Laporta, and Gibbs and Montgomery. They score a ton, but like Kalif, obviously, he has the punt return and then the touchdown on offense, and it's just like, every week it's somebody new, and this week was his.
You've been here the whole way with him, when you were here when he came in. So I guess how awesome is that to see Kalif have a game like that?
Mm-hmm.
Stick through it,
Yeah, against his former team. Pretty cool. He was our guest captain this week. We do that every week. He was the one this week, which is typically against your former team. Dan does that for those guys, and it was awesome. I mean, he's just been so close to breaking them through the whole year, it seems like. And today, those guys were blocking well for him, and he's making those returns. He's as electric as it gets back there, and they kept kicking it to him, so he kept making them.
You mentioned they would come out fighting in the first couple of drives. I think they had 3 sacks. Was a little bit of a where they really are in for a game, and then it switched just like that with the returns.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way? Like it was going to be
we knew that, though. We knew they'd come out hot, and we were doing our best to match their intensity, and they got up on us early there on some of those sacks. That D-line is an impressive group, and did a good job there early, and then we settled in. And again, this game, games throughout the year, offense is winning the game, defense is winning the game, and in this game it was special teams, it seemed, and our defense with all the turnovers, and then we would punch it in. But full team effort. Again, it's hard to kind of put into words because I don't know if I've been a part of something like that, but it was absolutely a team effort, and the special teams kind of carried us.
I can't imagine in modern football that a team has scored 52 points and the quarterback has thrown for 85 yards.
It's incredible. It defies logic,
Bronco
all of
Nagurski
these
did
numbers.
that.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? It's not a given that you're going to cover when you're a 10-point favorite, 11-point favorite. I mean, the 2 other big favorites today were the Jets, who lost to the Patriots, who were 2-6, and the Ravens, who lost to the Browns, who are now 3-5. And it's just a credit to this team taking care of business every week, because wins, as you know, are not a given in this league, but this team is making it feel more and more like that. Their professional approach to every game has reached a new level, and it's allowed them to now rip off 5 straight wins.
It's one of my favorite stats. They haven't lost 2 games in a row since October of 2022. Yeah. Nobody in the league is close to that. That goes to what you're saying. Dan Campbell gets his guys ready to play. When we come back, still got to talk some Kalif Raymond, because he had himself a heck of a game. You'll hear from him in the locker room moments ago. And maybe one thing that is still a concern for this football team as they head for Green Bay next week. All that coming up on our postgame show. Lions win it over the Titans 52-14. All right, let's talk about some more of the stars in this game, and there were a lot of them when you win 52-14. Kalif Raymond had a 90-yard punt return for a touchdown, a 64-yard punt return, almost broke that thing the whole way, and a 7-yard touchdown reception. He really did it from every angle today.
And you know what? He's everyone's biggest cheerleader in that locker room, so it's nice to see him get his flowers. I mean, if you ask any of his teammates about Kalif Raymond, they all light up and love to talk about him. He threw a surprise party for St. Brown after he signed his extension, and he brought balloons and streamers and I think champagne. And so they love him, and to see have his moment to shine today, well deserved for a guy like him.
And that return was just electric. And then, of course, he caught the touchdown pass as well. And look, you guys have heard Leaf discussed by Dan Campbell before. That head coach loves Kalif Raymond because he can do so many different things, and you can always count on him.
And he was one of those pillars in 2021, along with Anzalone and Goff in that first draft class. He signed here as obviously an unheralded guy, but he has become well known here in Detroit, and I think his name is beginning to have a bigger profile nationally. And he would have had 2 touchdowns today as a return man if he wasn't exhausted on his second one. He had run, I think, 100 yards all-purpose, north-south, east-west, but he's a spark plug, and it was good to see him have his moment today.
And you said it earlier, I don't think people realize how fast he is. He's one of the fastest guys on this team.
He's a water bug out there, man. He was flying around today.
Big day for him today. Caught up with him in the locker room a short time ago.
It was a really cool game. The last 2 that we played, I was telling some of the guys, Minnesota's like top 5 funnest game all times, and then to come follow it up with this one, just to be playing such a team game is so fun. Special teams, defense, takeaways, offense, pushing it in. It's just really fun to be part of a football team like that. So really cool.
Can you explain the feeling of not returning to the Lions?
Oh man, well, I haven't had that feeling too many times. No, it's kind of surreal. It's kind of like, it's happening, it's happening. So it's like, don't mess up. But no, when you got guys like that, like I've been saying it the past 30, 45 minutes. When you got defensive guys who will go play 3 snaps, force a punt, and then go block on the punt, it's incredible. I think Arizona, we almost had one too, and Carlton and TA are just like they're blocking, and they're like, let's go, like they're. I mean, it's just so cool when you have a team with that kind of character, those kind of guys, that kind of grit. It's really cool. So.
Can you talk about having a moment like this in a game like this, looking back on how many teams you had to go to, get cut, come back, and now you're talking to the press, starve a game and all that. Just reflect on that.
It's really cool. So I'm not a social media guy, but there's this video. I'm actually it's 2019. I want to say going into 2019, actually that season, and I had my family come out, and I have a huge family. We're all on the field. They're shooting me jugs on the punt, and my mom's got like the noodles from like swimming pool. I was looking at the video like last night. It's actually sitting here on my phone. She's got the noodles, and she's yelling, going ah, and I'm catching punts, and she's screaming, and it's such a funny video. But I was looking at it, I was like, it's been such a long time. So much work has gone in for a moment like this. But my mom was there. Like my mom is screaming, helping me get better at my profession. So I seen it. Maybe I'll post a video one day. It's hilarious, but it's been a long time and a lot of work and a lot of help to get here. So.
What is it to be part of this offense? Obviously got the touchdown catch for 6 different guys. It seems like it's a different guy every week.
It's incredible.
You're going to be your turn.
Yeah, it's a testament to 2 different. One of the guys we got on this team, everybody puts their best foot forward every play, and then you got Ben. I mean, he can draw up anything for anybody, and he puts us in his best position every week, and it's so cool when he'll talk about something over and over in a week, and coverages and what we're expecting, and you get to the game, it's like it's exactly what he said it was going to be, and he's setting up things from 2 weeks prior, so it's really cool not only to be able to play on this team, but to be able to play for somebody like that who's so detailed, so innovative. So it's really cool to watch it.
Kalif Raymond with a big day. First line in history to return a punt for a touchdown and catch a touchdown pass in the same game. Lions win it 52-14. We'll come back, discuss some defense as they get ready for the Packers next week. That'll be next up at Lambeau Field. Stick with us. Postgame show rolls on after this. All right, final moments here. Lions win it today, 52-14. Green Bay up next. Great job on defense in terms of takeaways today, but Birchie, I don't want to be the great cloud hovering over this, but they still had problems pressuring the passer, and they've got to figure that out. Whether that means a trade or not, Brad Holmes has got to be looking at that.
Yeah, well, we just saw some Pop Warner kids behind us, and there were some edge rushers out there that Brad Holmes might be still scouting somewhere in this building. There's a clear lack of a pass rush right now off the edges, and they do have guys up the middle in McNeil and Reeder, and they do blitz their linebackers to a pretty good effect, but you need guys off the edge who can win one-on-one matchups to have a consistent pass rush in the NFL. It's what they had, and obviously Hutch and Marcus Davenport and Derek Barnes. Well, those three guys are down for the season. Maybe Hutch returns in crazy fashion in the Super Bowl if they get there, but to get there, they need more of an edge pass rusher. I think, to me, it has to be someone imported before next Tuesday's trade deadline.
Yeah, we don't know if it'll be Malik Willis or Jordan Love at quarterback. Love left today with a groin injury. We don't know what'll happen in Green Bay, but whatever the case, you even saw it today with Rudolph for a while.
Yeah.
You cannot give a quarterback in the NFL unlimited time back there because they will find a way to beat you. And this is a team that is capable of going to a Super Bowl. But it's going to be more difficult if you can't shore up that pass rush to some degree. And as you said, that's something, and Dan Campbell has said it publicly, they're looking at everything outside this organization to see if it makes sense.
Yeah, and when you're down to practice squad players in Al-Quadin Muhammad and Isaiah Thomas, who was a practice squad player for the Browns as of 2 weeks ago, and James Houston, who really hasn't been able to play meaningful snaps for this team for almost 2 years, and Isaac Ukwu, another practice squad player, there just, to me, isn't enough there to trust that over the course of 2-3 months, one of those guys is going to blossom into something more. So I do think it's incumbent upon Holmes to bring in someone else. Because, look, that was the second worst offense in the NFL today by yardage per game. They put up 400-plus on this defense. And the takeaways covered up a lot of that. But there needs to be more of a pass rush because Mason Rudolph shouldn't have the time that he had today.
No doubt. Birchie, good stuff. We'll see you on the works tonight at 11 o'clock.
You can't get rid of me.
We're going to do this all again later tonight. Thank you for joining us. Lions win at 52-14. That will do it from Ford Field. Don't forget, join us tonight at 11 p.m. for a complete wrap on the day in sports.